Assembly Vice Deputy. I served 9 years as deputy and 5 years now as town clerk. Throughout the years, I have attended numerous classes, conferences, and training sessions to better educate myself for the job. I studied business administration at Sullivan. I attended Cornell University for 3 years and obtained the designation of CMC, Certified Municipal Clerk. This year, I completed the requirements to become an RMC, a Registered Municipal Clerk. Many of you have been to the town clerk's office, maybe for a dog license, a hunting license, or a marriage license. But many do not know the duties and requirements of a town clerk. Just to name a few, as a town clerk, I must attend each and every board meeting and keep an accurate record of the proceedings. I am also the town tax collector. I am responsible for the collection and disbursement of over $13.5 million. In the month of January, we have over 1,000 people come through our office, and this is with a staff of myself, Sarah, and a part-time person. I am also registrar of vital statistics for the town. All birth and deaths occurring in the town must be registered with the town clerk. The town clerk is also the FOIL officer for the town and must coordinate all the Freedom of Information requests. The town clerk has custody of all the records, books, and papers of the town. The town clerk is also...
Suggest to you that these candidates, any one of them, will be good to you in government. So I think you're blessed to have a good group, regardless of how the tallies end up in November. So I've been through this process a couple times, and I'm honored not to have an opponent this year, but certainly don't take that for granted, and I hope to continue to earn your trust and your support each and every year, each and every Thursday, court day. In 2003, on this very same stage, I recall that I pledged to give equal respect to the unfortunate and the fortunate in our community as acting as their judge. And now, 8 years later, I think that I have earned that reputation. That's something very important to me, and I believe it is well known that that's the case. So it doesn't matter if you're well-heeled or disenfranchised, you get a good shake, fair shake in the town of court. But it's easy to live up to these ideals that I've had when you have tremendous support. And I'd like to recognize the town clerks in the town court are absolutely tremendous women. And I want to say manpower, but it's woman power, really, that makes things happen in the town court. So I don't know if Ms. Ann Friedman's in the room, but she's my chief clerk, and you've been a tremendous resource. And these women have really...
I have had a great conversation with many folks, reaffirming my belief that Liberty is blessed with many skilled and talented individuals. Two very clear, consistent messages that come to light throughout these conversations: a deep love for liberty and a deep desire to see things happen. I have good news: things happen. In the last 6 years, a small group of us have accomplished writing a comprehensive plan, a farmland protection plan, and revising outdated zoning laws. These accomplishments are vital to ensure that Liberty's future is built on a solid foundation. I am proud to play a continuing role in development and implementation of each of these cornerstones. My membership on the Town Planning Board has provided a unique opportunity to hear firsthand from residents on what works and what needs to be altered. Throughout my tenure, I have consistently responded to applications before me with a thorough research of the applicable laws, applicants' rights, community objectives, and neighborhood concerns. Elected representatives are supposed to listen to the constituents and act accordingly. I have done this and want to share some examples so that you know that when I say I will listen and act, you can believe it because I have. I was instrumental in increasing the minimum lot size in the RD and Ag districts, or utilizing conservation subdivisions design as an alternative. This change will help ensure that Liberty maintains the rural nature of its residents so deeply cherished. I invited the Open Space Institute to meet with the zoning committee so that we could learn firsthand about their study and its potential impact on Liberty. I've spearheaded the rewriting of the non-conforming use regulations, which will be the subject of a public information session on November 4th.
Here in the town of Liberty. I've had the chance to work with many of you like to very briefly list the positions that I've been fortunate enough to hold here in the community. I've been, and still am, the president of the Greater Liberty Chamber of Commerce, where we've doubled our membership, worked hard to retain businesses in the community, and increased our annual revenue eightfold. I've been the head of the steering committee for the Liberty Renaissance Project, where Liberty has won nearly $20,000 in awards for its beautification efforts over just the past 2 years. I'm a member of the board for Liberty Rotary, where we regularly serve excellent spaghetti. And for those of you who missed it last night, sorry, but look for it the last Wednesday of the month in October 2012. On the county level, I've been fortunate enough to hold the following positions: Chairman of the Board of the Sullivan County Chamber of Commerce, Professor of Economics, Sullivan County Community College, Treasurer, Habitat for Humanity of Sullivan County, and Treasurer for the Sullivan Alliance for Sustainable Development. I've regularly attended town council meetings and have a good sense of what the issues are that are facing the town. In my
campaign, I attracted hundreds, probably thousands of people by putting on different musical acts. And it was very successful. A lot of people used to call me to play there. And, we had children's shows, we had quite a few different comedians and singer-songwriters. And it was a wonderful time and a wonderful place. And I think we can bring back that type of spirit to Liberty. People that would attract other people, places where people want to go. For instance, I went to the Liberty July 4th Festival, and that was excellent. I had a great time, and I think we can have a lot more of those types of activities and festivals to attract people. And of course, another thing I just wanted to mention, I went to the Woodstock Film Festival a while back, and that was a great place, and a lot of people went. And people were a member of that type of talent for it. I think we can do things like that. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. I think we could, there's a lot of local resources and nearby resources that we can tap into, and we can get, and become very much more successful as a town. Right now, the taxes are very high. People aren't happy about it. When I talk to them, when I go around, they always say, what are you going to do to reduce the taxes? And I guess we could try, but I can't promise you that. So that's another thing I wanted to mention was a lot of these hotels have been closed for years. I know that there's ways we can open them. Groceries is a beautiful spot up on that hill there. I think if we speak to Mr. Henry Zabata and some of the...
A few years to go to college and graduated from SUNY Albany as a math teacher with a math major and a computer science minor. So I know how to add up and subtract numbers, and it's a little scary sometimes when you take a look at the local town budgets and the school budget. On the school board for a few years, and how the challenges that we're all faced with today with the municipal budgets. Came back to Liberty after college. My dad had worked at the furniture store where we are now, and he, in 1973, another company bought it. He didn't own it, and another company bought it. And they decided that he wasn't in their plans for the store, so they let him go. And he wanted to go in business for himself, so in 1973, he opened his own little furniture store on West Street. And my brothers and I were helping Dad every weekend, stock the store and pay the bills and do the deliveries and things. And I'm the youngest. My older two brothers already were pretty established in their careers at that time. And I had not gotten a job as a school teacher, and I was selling life insurance down in Monroe. And I told my wife, Terry, why don't we give it a try? We'll give the furniture business a try. And that was in 1974. Here we are in 2011, and we're still giving it a try. So why am I running? When I was younger, I got real involved in politics. We had a thing called the Liberty Community Coalition, which was sort of like the Chamber of Commerce. And we put on the Liberty International Festival and Exposition, the Life Festival. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but John McCole was around at the time. And then I had the Libertonian horse race on Memorial Day weekend. We got 1,000 people into Liberty that would watch horses from the Monticello racetrack run uptown. And it was an event, everybody had to come out for it. It was the Libertonian. And we organized that. But then I found my family.
Because I believe that the vision I have, the direction I see, will lead us to a better community and help us take control of it. We should begin by structuring and implementing a viable economic plan where we start building upon the many assets in and around Liberty, and to rethink industries from our past. We need to develop new attractions and feature those that already exist. We need to catch the wave created by Bethel Woods and the high-impact projects and ride it to new opportunities. We need to recognize up-and-coming industries like agribusiness, which I truly believe will be the future of our town. Our proximity to New York City, our open space, renewed interest in farming, and the fact that we are home to Cornell Cooperative Extension, Soils and Water, and the future processing plant makes us prime for this type of development. We also need an effective marketing strategy that would be critical to the success of our economic plan. We need a capital improvement plan.
Program guided me in skills like working with the media and working through the political machinery that creates the roadblocks to passage of important bills that come before our government. Because of this experience, I became active in nursing politics. I have spoken with many in Albany, including Senator Bonasek and Assemblywoman Gunter. I worked with them on many nurses, and we successfully got the no mandatory overtime bill passed. So I learned the legal skills and the legal stalls that keep things in committee and therefore never getting bills to the floor for a vote. I also have experience in negotiations. I've been a lead member of my local union negotiating team. So you ask, what does all this mean? I know how to move agendas forward and work with others to find a common ground. To accomplish what we initially set out to do, whether that's settling a
legislators have chosen not to seek re-election. Well, this is a wonderful opportunity to gain new perspective. It also means keeping experience in office, which is one of our avenues that we need to follow. My record speaks for itself. I'm an experienced businessman. I own businesses in the town of Rockland. I'm proud to say that I listened to Lynn and we were talking about ag tourism. One of my businesses is the Sonoma Falls, which we're doing exactly that. I feel as the chairman of the IDA and the Community and Economic Development that we do need to move Sullivan County forward, and I feel that we have been doing that. The red meat facility here in Liberty is just on the verge of happening, and I'd like to thank my fellow legislator Jody Goodman who has worked with me on that and to bring this forward. We have other great opportunities moving forward in Sullivan County, and one of those is the Apollo Mall. We bring the Apollo Mall and we're talking about $20 million a year in sales tax revenue and creating up to 2,000 jobs. That's new revenue in Sullivan County, that's bringing growth to Sullivan County, and that's keeping our young people in jobs in Sullivan County. It's very important. And I'm proud, if you look at my record, that I have worked on these jobs. Some of the other ones we've done is the Dancing Cat facility. We're working on currently in Livingston Manor a Catskill brewery, which we're working on now through Sullivan County, the IDA, and to bring grants there. They're looking at breaking grounds in approximately 60 days. I'm proud to say, and I do agree with Kitty, that we need broadband. I'm proud to say.
I have to say that the county really needs business people to stand up and make really tough decisions, because we all know we're living in really challenging times. And I, like many of you, want to see Sullivan County succeed. My experience as a registered nurse in supervisory roles in Sullivan County, as a former Sullivan County public health nurse, my knowledge will be invaluable as we tackle the tough challenges in Sullivan County in health care. As a leader and co-founder of the Sullivan County Farm Network, which many of you have probably heard about in the newspapers, I set out 3 years ago to change the mindset of county government, to focus on the importance of agriculture on our local economy. Over $80,000 a year as one of our top economic stimulators, and I believe that that's where our efforts should concentrate on tourism, agriculture, and healthcare as top economic stimulators. Now, I think if we put efforts and initiative into those three business and job creators, I think we can succeed. I have been on the forefront, and I have been enacting change. I have taken that voice to represent Sullivan County on the state level, and I'm proud as a recent appointee of the New York State Blue Ribbon Task Force, tackling the challenges of rural business and farms. One of the highlights of my meetings, sitting on the board representing Sullivan County with 40 other county representatives, working on why is rural America suffering. And for me, going to the county meetings, I see a lot of efforts going into the big job creators.
Started my political career in 1991 as councilman for 4 years. Once I became, after councilman, I was supervisor for 6 consecutive terms in town of Calhoun. And while I was supervisor, I became a New York State code enforcement officer. At this present time, I'm code officer for town of Coshocton and the town of Bethel. Some of my accomplishments as supervisor: we converted the junkyard in Calhoun Center into a town park, converted into a soccer field and basketball court that we use right now. It was the biggest eyesore we had in the Calhoun Center, and was there for probably 30 years prior to this happening. We did that project with no cost, no borrowing to the town. The next project we did was a town hall at town of Calhoun. We also did that project with no borrowing for the town. Another project within the town while I was there was the highway department structure. It cost us $1 million to do. We did on time and on budget. Some of the other things we did while I was there, we coordinated the cleanup from 2 devastating floods, one in 1996, one in 2006. During that time, we had to coordinate the cleanup and the evacuation of those problems. We were able to be reimbursed $2.3 million from FEMA for those projects. A couple of the other projects that we brought money to the town, we had a grant for HUD grant for $400,000 for Calhoun Center, North Branch, and Youngsville.
We can't always pick and choose the issues that we want to work on when we're dealing with what's been referred to earlier as state mandates, unfunded mandates. We have to pay for certain things, whether we like it or not, and we also have what's called a tax cap, which is also coming from Albany, which has a loophole, which is that 60% of the legislators vote for it. That means we can have a property tax increase. So these are the kinds of issues that you have to deal with, whether you like it or not. But just to give you a little bit of background, since 1978, I've been coming here in the summers, and actually I was 21, so that makes me 53, if anybody's doing the math. And my first summer job was at Madnick's Bakery in South Fallsburg, and I also worked at the Concord doing conferences for social work. And I remember shopping at Sullivan's department store for clothes or lamps, or you could get whatever you needed. And I remember when Gary's Great American was across the street from the Liberty Diner. And now my husband and I live in Swan Lake. I belong to the Swan Lake Ladies Auxiliary, and I'm on the Sullivan Renaissance Steering Committee. And I have worked as a grant writer for Sullivan Renaissance, bringing solar lighting to Swan.
As a lifetime resident of our county, I understand the burden of the taxes. Many of you forget us legislators pay taxes too. I know the economic struggles, and I share the public's anger. I'm committed to continue fighting to control spending while maintaining appropriate services for the people of Sullivan County as my primary goal. I'm chair of the budget, and I directed the county manager to develop our budget under the 2% cap. Last year, I brought in our budget at a 0%. I hold night meetings. I take the budget on the road. We go through every township and county and I asked my fellow legislators to put their package together to make it accessible for each member's group, and we do it at night. I've been a strong advocate for safety in our community by effectively opposing level 3 sex offenders that live within our walking distance. And for those of you who don't know, Liberty School students walk within 1 mile, and we had a level 3 sex offender that lived at the Lincoln Motel. He was known for hating blacks, he was known for hating Jews, and he raped a very young child. At the Lincoln Motel, if you're familiar with the distance, it is between a Baptist church, a synagogue, and our school system. I had him removed. How did I have him removed? I let social services know it's unacceptable to have paroled victims like these brought into our main streets. It was unacceptable to me. I was told I should mind my own business. I said we will welcome him in a manner of which I find fit. I developed a march between the churches and the synagogue, and when social services got wind of this march, they called me up and they said I had made his dwelling unsafe, and they moved him back to the county where he came from. For those of you who don't know, if you commit a level 3 sex offense, you are allowed to live in the community where you did it, and you don't have to live where you came from. So this gentleman raped somebody in Sullivan County. He wanted to live near her when he was paroled. I had him pushed back to Orange County, and within a month, he was found with a knife under his bed and a hooker in his bed with him. I sought and secured a grant